As devices are installed on a TCP/IP network, they must have a web address. A web address? Or IP address? Alphabetically and group by function. Okay. A drawback of IR control is that it does not provide bidirectional information. Other components in a control system generally check with the excuse me. Other components in a control system Other components in a control system, I think it's the CPU. At an equipment commissioning meeting, the lead tech should explain the technical functions of each device in a system. Hmm. Uh, Alright, so you see this part here. What areas of consideration should the EV professional address with a client regarding building structure and EV service issues? Ensure adequate power source. Ensure EV program source access. Huh. Before committing to contract with a vendor, one should verify the vendor's ability to fulfill the requirements of the agreement by considering their staff skills and abilities, history of meeting commitments, financial solvency. What typically causes alien crosstalk in a network system? Unshielded twisted pair cables are bundled with other low voltage unshielded twisted pair cables. AXT or alien crosstalk interference is introduced by cables that are bundled in with other cables and cause interference. When commissioning for video display installation, how will the EV technician test to ensure that the video display system is working properly? It says confirm brightness, contrast, and color adjustment using SMPTE pludge or pluge pattern. Just to ensure that the video display system is working properly. Okay. Noise in a room can be a distraction to users and have an impact on the effectiveness of an EV system. Which of the following generates mechanical and structural noise? HVAC fans, ducts, diffusers, and air handlers. D is correct. The context of the questions refers to noise generated by mechanical and structure-borne noises. The incorrect answer choices include lighting, which is not a mechanical noise. Therefore, the correct answer should only refer to generated noise sources. When documenting requirements for network services, a formal technical document called a service level agreement is often utilized when documenting requirements. A formal technical. Okay. All right. Chris Smooth, boy. Hmm. Hmm. Wow. Rockets playing good. When considering a site for projected image, the AV professional must plan for which of the following considering audience sightline consideration. Distance to the furthest viewers from the screen and position in relation to the screen. Mhm. One major difference between the service level agreement process and the traditional program report is the SLA focuses on measurement of service through monitoring procedures. Okay, so while traditional program reports may contain some of these other items, service level agreements often include service performance goals that are quantifiable through monitoring and testing. Things common to both servers and clients include BIOS, RAM, motherboard, connections for peripherals. What must be included in the breakdown of probable cost? A basic report by room or system and the total cost for each. A basic report by room or system. B is correct. The breakdown of probable costs is part of the program report and normally broken down by room or system. Further costs will not be detailed or in depth. Program report also has probable costs. When pulling cable in conduit, junction boxes are installed at the ends of conduit runs while pull boxes are specified every 100 feet or 30 meters or after 180 degrees of bend. 180 degrees of bend. C is correct. Several sources say that for communications cabling, there should be no more than 100 feet between pull boxes or pull points, and no more than 180 degrees of conduit bends. So, hmm. It is best practice when presenting your project proposal to the client to make sure that the meeting stays focused on the identified topics and objectives while addressing client questions and concerns. When considering sightline and seating parameters for a venue, the AV professional must remember that the average seated eye height is 4 inches less than the average seated head height. Okay, so the average seated eye height is 4 inches. Okay. The best practice for determining the maximum viewer distance from the screen for viewing, reading detailed graphics or data images is to multiply the screen height by 6. C is correct. The correct answer choice meets the appropriate formula factor for 6, 8 multiplied by the image height. Depending on the type of viewing, reading is considered detailed viewing, subject to the 6th factor of screen height. Many venues are equipped with fluorescent lighting, which may have limitations for AV applications for the following reasons. B. They interfere with infrared receivers and require dimmable ballasts. Many venues are equipped with fluorescent lighting, which may have limitations for AV applications. Limitations for AV applications.
Professional AV consumer AV products you probably have in your living room or pocket. The Pro AV industry provides advanced technology and services to organizations whose needs go beyond personal entertainment or keeping in touch with family members. By the end of this video, you'll be able to identify the customers of the Pro AV industry and Pro AV applications. The Pro AV industry may not be in your living room, but it's just about everywhere else you look. One of the most common examples of a professional AV project is a corporate boardroom. Often, the company will want this space to be impressive, which means keeping visible equipment and wires to a minimum. Even so, the boardrooms may have audio, video, or web conferencing capabilities. Multi-purpose rooms like this one are used by all kinds of organizations to train new members, meet clients, and host guests. These rooms commonly have a pull-down screen and a video projector. Notice the configurable seats and tables. This is a classroom now, but it could become a temporary conference room in a snap. Integrated media classrooms are becoming the norm in colleges and universities. These learning environments may include video conferencing equipment, complex display systems, and sound reinforcement technologies. Digital signage is used by retailers, corporations, museums, airports, and many others to inform and entertain visitors. They might display advertising, directory information, or internal events and announcements. These signs are often interactive, allowing viewers to learn more about a topic or product of interest. Religious organizations are a growing AV end-user category. Modern places of worship have dynamic sound, theatrical lighting, and large display projection to improve the ceremony and make all the participants feel like a part of the service. AV technology is a growing part of justice systems, too. A smart courtroom like this one includes video conference capabilities for remote witnesses, cameras to record and display evidence, and microphones throughout the room. An advanced audio system allows simultaneous translation for participants who don't speak the local language. Command and control centers are the brains of many organizations. When an emergency center like the one pictured here gets an urgent call, the caller's location appears on the screen, along with street names and nearby fire and police stations. A video cube overhead allows emergency workers to monitor many local news feeds at once. Stadiums and arenas use audiovisual technologies everywhere. Scores and stats appear on enormous displays. Cameras follow the action for fans watching at home. Coaches communicate on headsets. Sound systems help fans get into the game. Though theater is a separate industry, many audiovisual companies are involved in creating theatrical lighting environments. Environmental lighting is very important to viewing comfort, projection, and display quality, as well as the right mood. So who are the consumers of Pro AV? Corporations, hotels, museums, retailers, universities, sports teams, governments, basically, we're everywhere. And what do? Audio, display, environmental control, and more. One thing you should know about all these AV applications is that they're changing very quickly all the time. To give a couple of examples, AV is increasingly on the network, meaning devices all over the world can be controlled simultaneously. Also, real-time instant video communication is rapidly becoming a part of everyday life for many people. However, change in the AV industry is not just about systems getting bigger or becoming more widely accepted. This is an industry where one technology may be completely replaced by another seemingly overnight because the new technology is faster, smaller, more reliable, or just plain better. Professional AV designs must account for this rapid change, yet also be built to last. It's one of the most exciting challenges of the AV industry. Thanks for watching Professional AV Applications.
Nigel, what's
the Spectra Alert event?
Didn't mean to feel that B is correct. Too much light, fluorescent or otherwise, can interfere with the IR receivers, and fluorescent light requires special dimmable ballasts. Fluorescent lights are efficient as compared to incandescent and directionality. And directionality is determined by the fixture, not the type of lamp. Yes, you're right. Francis are cool. Yes, you're right. I thought I would have been washing out the thing, so I have to keep that in mind, you know. Mm. Mhm. A client asks you to design a conference room in a hospital in which they will be doing audio conferencing on a daily basis. Due to the size of the room, it is difficult for the participants to hear what is being said from the opposite end of the room. In order for everyone to be able to hear without strain, you would need to utilize voice lift. A client has asked you to design a display system, all right? But when you arrive on site, you notice there are objects that could make viewing the display difficult. Have limitations. What type of study would you need to complete to define the best areas for viewing? That's a sightline study. A client is utilizing an audio conferencing system. They have a lot of paperwork on their conference table, and everyone has a laptop during meetings. They comment that the far side is hearing a lot of paper shuffling and noise from the conference room. What type of microphone is most likely to create the situation? This is the fan boundary. I don't know. I'll find that tomorrow. What's the time? Oh gosh. 1:30. 1:33. A client conducts a weekly meeting to an audience of approximately a client a client conducts a weekly meeting to an audience of approximately 25 people. The presenters walk around the room and write on a display at the front of the room a great deal a great deal to demonstrate their ideas. What type of microphone will be the least intrusive, and provide the best solution for the presenter? Have lavalier gooseneck boundary handle, lavalier. In an audio conference, what is a client experiencing if the near side and the far side speak at the same time, but only one of the parties is heard or parties are heard? That's wrong English, eh? Parties is heard. I think it's half duplex. In the following solutions, which would be the most defendable procedure for determining actual labor costs for a project? Collect. I have collect timesheets, ask and solicit for total hours. To labor code, use projected numbers. Collect timesheets. If a project utilizes prevailing wages, it is referring to union wages, installer salaries, job costing, total wages for job. That sounds as though it's union wages. Your company's demographic are company's marketing demographic are vertical. The potential and current customers for the products and services in which your company specializes. The potential and current customers for the products. Come here. I see it, so come here. When selecting an installation vendor through a bid or tender process, which item is the least important? When selecting an installation vendor through a bid, which item is the least important? Price quoted for the project. When selecting an installation company, which is the best way to know if they are a qualified company? Ask for company references, visit them, and interview the customers. On occasion, a product specified is no longer available when the project is to be built. What is the most appropriate response? On occasion, a product specified is no longer available. Alright, it's discontinued. When the project is to be built, what is the most appropriate response? Notify the designer and ask them to suggest a replacement and inform the customer of the need for the replacement and any other changes that might be necessary for the substitution. Notify the designer and ask them to suggest a replacement and inform the customer for the replacement and any other changes that might be necessary for the substitution. In a meeting room where there is sunlight coming in through the windows and all the room lights are turned all the way up, when viewing the projection screen, what may be a problem? A large LCD display is mounted directly to the wall using some bolts and screws. What can be done to improve the insulation? Use a wall mounting kit. A wall mounting kit.
Cartridge-free Epson EcoTank printer.
Hi, my name is Dave. I'm a custom audio and video installer for Apple Electronics and Appliances in Glenville, Illinois. And today I'm going to demonstrate how to hang a 50-inch TV on a wall. We've got to start with some basic hand tools. We've got a level, a stud finder, tape measure, the appropriate fasteners for the work surface, drill to tighten these, the larger drill is to drill the fastener holes, screwdrivers, the plate that goes on the wall, and the arm that hangs on the TV. And the process is pretty simple. We're going to take these arms, mount them on the television, and then I'm going to mount this plate on the wall, and the TV is going to hang on the plate. And we just need to put the arms on the television. I prefer to do this with a screwdriver. Some guys use power tools, but me, I've always felt more comfortable doing this just with hand tools. We just need to tighten these guys down. Okay, so we've got the arms on our television. We need to mount our backing plate on the wall. And to get a measurement, we need a measuring tape, backer plate, stud finder, very important, level, and our pencil. Okay, so it's not going to hurt the TV to lay this stuff on it. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clip backer plate onto the television. And the way I like to do it is I'm going to measure the difference between the bottom of the plate and the bottom of the television. In this case, it's almost exactly 10 inches. We determined earlier today that the bottom of our television is going to be about 56 inches from the bottom of the floor. And we need our level, pencil, stud finder. All right, so determine the center of our wall is about right here. And then we're going to go up. These numbers are very round, so it's very easy to remember. But 56 is going to be the bottom of our television. So the bottom of our bracket is going to be 66, and I've already made a mark for the bottom of the bracket. Next thing we need to do is we need to find our studs. And that's pretty simple. I've got the all clear light. There's the edge of one. And there's the other edge. Now I'm just going to mark the center of the stud for use of life in a minute. There's the edge of the other one. Back this side now. Look. There's the other one right there. And I'm going to mark the center of that. Now, what I'm going to do, because this bracket, the backing plate is so heavy, is I'm just going to bring my line down so that when I draw the line, and obviously making sure there's a level constantly, is I'm going to then use this to determine which set of holes I'm going to use in the back of that mount. Some installers will put blue tape on the wall. My opinion is TV's going to hide it anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. We've got our mount. It does have an up and a down. I almost had it upside down. There we go. You may want to have another person assist you doing this. I've done this a couple times, so I don't feel any discomfort doing this on my own. It just takes a minute to level it out. And again, I'm just marking my pilot. I'm marking my holes where my bolts are going to go. And then I'm pulling it down. That's about it. So we've got our arms on our television. We've got the dimension for our television in our backer plate. Now we've got to drill some holes on our fasteners. The first thing I'm going to do is drill my pilot holes and make sure that everything's good, which I'm sure it is. Yep, good. Yep, like how that feels. There we go. One more. Then, since those are just our pilots, we need to open these up. And for the fasteners I'm using today, they require a 1/2-inch hole. So, here's our 1/2-inch drill bit. Those are our holes. All right, next thing we've got to do is put our fasteners in. We have special fasteners for the wall that we're mounting them on. And I would always encourage you to use the appropriate fasteners for the work surface that you're mounting to. And again, I've been doing this for over 10 years and have hung 3,000 TVs. I don't really know. So, you know, I feel very comfortable using these. If you don't, use another fastener. Nope, you need a bracket. Reason and force. And I prefer to use the impact driver, which is a little loud. And we're going to check for level. That's pretty good. I'm going to raise this side. I'd feel a little happier if that side were raised a little bit. Again, this is what the impact driver is nice for because it really snugs stuff up good. we go. And we're dead level. And the last step, obviously, we've got the plate on the wall. We've got the arms on the TV. We've got to hang the TV. It's our last step. I would highly recommend you get somebody else to help you do this part, but you don't have to. Yep. TV on the wall.
All right, quiet on set.
Hi, everybody. Robert Jones with Installer Parts. Today, we're going to do the installation of a TV mount. By the end of this video,
During a meeting in a large auditorium, the screen is being blocked by the heads of other attendees. What is the problem? The screen was installed without considering sight lines. The number one tool for providing good customer service is communication. What is the most important consideration when planning an end user training session? What is the most important consideration? Content levels for technical and non-technical users. What are the four teams that comprise the overall project team? The owner, the design, installation, and management. Which person from the list below would belong to the design team? Of lighting consultant, developer, general contractor, buyer. GC, no. Buyer, no. Developer, lighting consultant. Which groups below would make up the management team? Developer, construction manager, and building management agency. Developer, construction manager. The end user, facility manager, and building committee comprise which team within the project team? The owner. Yeah, when you see end user, but the facility manager is the owner business. I'm seeking the interest of the owner. Which of the following groups represent the generic roles that are important to the project process? Generic. Project manager, designers, installers, project process, Project manager, designers, and installers. Yeah, just me and you. Which project characteristics must be considered in order to determine which method is best suited for a particular project? Schedule, size, type, complexity, procurement requirements.
LeBron, you scored the final 9 points for your team, including two one-legged followaways that had you pumped up. What was your mindset down the stretch?
To close the game out. That's what my teammates look for me to do. Play game. We played a heck of a game here tonight, and we didn't want to give it up. So we were just going to make runs. They're a great team at home. But we was able to withstand that run, and I was able to make some shots down the stretch.
LeBron, it's your 15th season. You haven't missed a game this year. You've been averaging a triple-double since February. How would you describe where your game's at right now?
Probably an all-time high, just because of my body, my mind, the way I go out and approach the game. And then, just the grace of God giving me the ability to do this. So, I'm blessed, and I never take it for granted.
The 10th game with the new guys. You guys improved to 6 and 4. How would you assess how you're gelling so far?
Well, this is a tough start of the road trip. With us just coming together, playing against these guys that's, like I said, been great at home all year. So to start this road trip off like.
Kevin Love posted on the Players Tribune an article titled "Everyone Goes Through Something," in which he disclosed his battle with panic attacks. He described the attacks as being as real as a broken hand or a sprained ankle. He said further, quote, "I was running from room to room like I was looking for something I couldn't find. Really, I was just hoping my heart would stop racing. It was like my body was trying to say to me, you're about to die. I ended up on the floor in the training room, lying on my back, trying to get enough air to breathe." Your reaction to him opening up?
I applaud his courage as well as DeMar DeRozan's courage.
It is panic
Make this
attacks.
for public consumption. A lot of times people think because you have success, career, fame, and money that preludes you from issues that these gentlemen have exposed. And now that they've done it, I'm pretty sure it's going to give so many people the courage to come out and do the exact same thing.
I agree with you, Jalen. I applaud him as well.
Jalen Rose
What it
haircut.
does, it humanizes us as humans, as athletes. I know there's a lot of people that look at athletes as Superman. Nothing could ever happen to you. So for Kevin Love, DeMar to come out and say, no, we have issues and problems just like everybody else, I think to me should give them even more fans, because they are making sure that they let everybody know that, listen, we're just human beings playing a game that we love and making a great career out of it. And I agree with you as well as far as other players in this league that are going through things like this. It gives them the courage now to also step forward.
And it is, I think, all these issues are still issues that have they carry a stigma in this nation, and a lot of people aren't comfortable. But if we can finally get to a place where depression is the same thing as having any other disease, or panic attacks are awful. I once experienced one on an airplane, and it was one of the worst things ever, because you truly think you're going to die and you can't breathe. And these aren't weird things that happen, and you're not weak because it happens to you.
Right.
it's chemistry and your brain, and there are ways to get help. And I love when people with big names come out, because it makes somebody at home watching think, oh, it's not me just being sad. Right. There might actually be an issue here.
And this information and this awareness is not only for fans and media, it's also for teammates. Because a lot of times when you don't see an injury on a player, you feel like you need to be out there and you're breathing.
Absolutely.
And Kevin Love dealt with that game.
A lot, yeah.
Remember, he said when I was laying on the floor, where? In the training room.
Right.
That was the exact same day that we heard about, that came out later, that the teammates were unhappy with the fact that he wasn't on the bench, that he wasn't in the locker room. And so that came a conversation piece for us, that now you see LeBron James sending out a tweet. It's almost like an apology,
right,
in a lot of ways, right, because we have a long way to go also.
Listen, all those teammates that are there in Cleveland should personally apologize to Kevin Love and say, man, we didn't know. We didn't know this is what you were going through. We apologize. And now, like you said, that awareness of a guy coming out, it's just going to let everybody in this league know that, you know what, he might just be going through something. Other teammates might be going through something. So, again, you just can't pass judgment because the guy's in the locker room. He's not on the bench with you. He's not on the floor. So now you're thinking, oh, man, he don't want to play, or he's soft, or this or that. You know, you get those stigmas as well. And, right, again, I applaud Kevin.
But now I have a question, Coach, and it is, now that we know this, as a coach, do you now approach him different because you know he's had this issue? And this is the thing that stinks, when you now allow yourself to be vulnerable for the public. It's so.
It's not just a coaster, you know. It's an invitation. Jim Beam on the rocks. The bourbon that's been making history since 1795.
Oh, shut up.
Opportunity for LeBron James. A game high 34 for Jokic. LeBron James for a goal. 35 for LeBron. James. Wow. James against Chandler with 5. LeBron driving, falling away over Chandler. Goal! What can't he do? We just said, remember when he throws up, it's going in.
Excuse me. Which of the following groups represent the check? Of the following, which is an important aspect of funding that has a direct impact on the project process and design installation? technical support funding. When conducting a complete project bid process, what milestone follows the issuing of the RFP? The pre-bid meeting. Under what circumstances would you likely use an A305 1986 form? Scoring responses to an RFQ? Difference between an RFQ and an RFQ request. What is the ideal way to contract an EV integrator? Directly to the owner. Okay. The process of identifying the activities that end users need to perform and develop the functional description of a system is referred to as a needs analysis. What is the main task of the third step of the third program phase? Alright, so EV designers use the information collected during initial site visits to identify clients' needs and evaluate issues at the site environment that will impact the EV system design, installation, and operation. Hmm. So the design team is the EV designer, architect, engineers, interior designer. Program meetings should include representatives of both the design team, the owner, and all key stakeholders. As noted in earlier chapters, throughout the program phase, the EV team should conduct several meetings. The purpose of a program meeting is to gather and exchange the information necessary to determine which functions are required to support end users' applications. This information should reveal what the end users currently do, what they need to do, and what they want to do. Mm. Program meeting attendees from the design team should include the following: AV consultant, project manager, the AV designer, architect, the construction program manager, the construction manager. Mhm. So the AV consultant or the project manager, AV designer, the architect, construction manager. Mhm. Which a conceptual and functional system description. The program report's executive summary should contain an overview of the project, systems, and any special issues. SI executive report, summary report, CS report. Project, personal things. During the program phase, what types of documentation should be reviewed during the review of existing documentation and facility step? Architectural, organizational, and technical. What is the correct order of the steps involved in the design phase of a project? You have the kickoff meeting, establishing the infrastructure, developing the design package, and reviewing the package. So kickoff, establishing the infrastructure, developing the design package. Of the following, which team members best reflect the team of participants during the review step of a project's design phase? Architect, program management, owner, and the user. During the design phase, what are three major coordination efforts that need to be addressed between the AV designer and the base building design team? Space planning, data telecom, and administrative coordination. Which group below comprises the principal participants in construction phase activities? Architect, the GC, general contractor, and AV integrator. At what point of the construction phase does AV system testing occur? At the end. During the construction phase of a project, which step always follows AV system testing? Site installation. What is the last step of the construction phase? Finalizing documentation. During the construction phase, what is likely to happen if a product is suddenly discontinued? A request for change is triggered. During the construction phase, what is the last thing to do before site installation? Conduct equipment and systems testing. Makes sense. Verification and optimization are two concepts that are applied during system commissioning to ensure that the design intent must be met. During which step in the system commissioning and training phase is the final checklist for the complete installation generated? During which step in the system commissioning and training phase is the final checklist for the company? Generate the punch list. During which step in the system commissioning? What are the primary functions of step 4 of the system commissioning and training phase of a project? What are the primary functions of step 4 of the system commissioning and training phase of a project? Inspecting, testing, and aligning. When is the best time to train users during the system commissioning and training phase of a project? After the system is complete. Which type of warranty typically involves additional costs and adjustment? Service. If a system meets the original design, fulfills the need of the end user, and remains in proper working order, what will be the result? A successful project. Alright, so I'm going to take a rest. Alright. I just see it here now. I'm not feeling right. Right to me haters. See you soon to my friends. Love you, Trinidad. Hope to see you again. Yes, body. Sound level decreases 6 decibels every time the source to listener distance is doubled. Okay. Hertz Hertz is the unit of measure for frequency. 1 Hertz is equivalent to 1 cycle per second. The distance between the optical center of a lens and the image plane is called the focal length. Okay. The amount of light passed through the lens to the imager on a video camera is controlled by the iris. And RY, BY, Y video signal is known as a component video signal. There's my cut. During video production, removing all of one color from the main image and replacing it with a second image is called chroma key.